it there. We need to enforce these things. When you, as a family member, and I'm speaking from my heart now, when you have a family member and you go on the road and you look at your family member in pieces, in bits and pieces, that don't leave you, that don't leave a parent, that don't leave a sibling. This is a message for the Transport Authority, the agencies that are responsible for road safety, and the police. Now, I've noticed a lot of unsafe driving practices on the roads, and I'm going to share one with you today. Now, there are many drivers who are speeding, and we know that speeding is bad. Speeding costs a lot of lives and damage vehicle and injure people and cost on the healthcare system and all sort of costs, right? But the bottom line is that they cost lives. But the other thing coupled with speeding that I'm noticing is that whenever these motorists are speeding, that they're not keeping to their sides of the road. And especially sometimes they're coming around the corner, like some big units, especially some SUVs, like the people can't manage the vehicles that they're driving. And so they're speeding around the corner. And when you look, they are basically on you in the middle of the road. And sometimes the other person, the other party on the road don't have anywhere to go because they're the sidewalk or an embankment or something. And that is very, very dangerous. And I've noticed this for the last couple of years. And I said to myself, I don't want to say anything because once you come out as a woman, especially in Jamaica, and you say, these are the things that I'm observing, the first thing people say, oh man, actually you're coward, you're a woman. Actually you're a woman, you're coward. No, man, you're coward. And I'm so sorry I didn't say anything because when I saw that accident where the tourist died, where that driver was speeding and, took over 3/4 of the road. And so the other driver had nowhere to go and he hit the column and the vehicle was overturned and the tourist died. I felt some sort of responsibility because I'm saying to myself, if I had come out and said something, not paying any attention to persons who will say, oh, yeah, woman, and you're coward, that driver could have seen, and then that person would have done better. I don't know. And so I said it to a taximan who is a good driver, decent taximan. And he said he noticed them. That was after the accident. And I'm just going to share this. I want to share this. I don't want to not say anything. Share this so that the persons within the government that are responsible for safety on the road to do something. So I have some suggestions. You don't have to take my suggestions. In fact, if you have better ones, implement them. The bottom line is that we have to come together so that we can save lives. And that is my aim, right? Too many accidents are happening on these roads. When I was just starting to drive several years ago, somebody said judgment drive. And I know a lot of people don't understand that, but you have to know the length of your vehicle, where you're going, the size of your vehicle, the height of your vehicle, everything. You have to know these things, right? And so a lot of people driving vehicles, they don't have an idea of their vehicle size and they don't have an idea of where their side ends, right? And so we need to do something. So I have some suggestions. As I said, you don't have to take them. What we need to do, we need to ramp up back this safety campaign, the road safety campaign. We need to put some money behind it. We need to ask for donations. And if we need to do GoFundMe to do that, we have to do what we have to do to save lives. Too many accidents. So we need to ramp up back these campaigns, but we can't do it as business as usual, right? We can't have them on the television anymore. A lot of people aren't watching TVs, especially the younger folks. They're not watching TVs, right? They're on social media. So we need to target where the audience is, where the demographic of people who are usually in these accidents. You know the statistics. I don't have to get into that, right? But you know what I'm talking about. I don't want the video to be too long. So you need to target these people where they are, and that is where data and analysis come in and all these things. So We put them on the campaign, ramp up the campaign, put them on social media. But we know also that on social media, people have the tendency to skip ads. So what do? We need to reach the persons where they are, whether it's billboard, wherever they are. We need to have these campaigns so that they can see what is happening and do what is right for their fellow Jamaicans and visitors to this island. Now, here's something that I came up with. You don't have to take it as I say, um, like just stay on your side. Just a reminder, stay on your side. So I've come up with something. I think it's catchy, but people can do better than this. Abide by the tide, stay on your side. Whatever it is, abide by the tide, stay on your side. I just made it up. So you can choose something that is very catchy, easy to remember, and people will have it in the forefront of their minds as they are going on the road to remember to stay on their side when they are driving on the roads, right? The next thing that I've noticed is that there aren't any, I shouldn't say any, but we need more white lines. The middle white lines. I don't even know what they call it, but that white line in the middle. There are so many roads. What we have to do is, Mr. We, but you, well, all of us, what we have to do is that we need to look at these roads where there are a lot of accidents, crash sites, and different roads too, and narrow roads or whatever. We need to target these roads and put the white lines in it so that drivers can will be prevented from encroaching on the other side of the road. So we need to brighten those that are dull, and we need to put white lines on the roads that don't have any. All right. Now, the other thing that we need to do is to erect sleeping policemen or sleeping policeman, whatever you call it, right? Body pattern we need. So we need sleeping policemen. A lot of them, sleeping policemen all over the place, especially where there are tendencies to speed. We need to have them. Sometimes on the roads are repaired, the sleeping policeman is not, erected. They just leave them. And so even sometimes in communities, you see that citizens are putting in those things to prevent their children from ending up in accidents. So we need to erect those things, right? Another thing I would suggest is that whenever we are renewing the license of these people, don't just take the money. Yes, the money come and we need to renew the license. We need to do unlearning, and we need to do relearning on these roads so that people can understand that these things are happening now. So these are some of the things that we need to take in consideration. And I know in Jamaica they have this saying that old dogs can't learn new tricks, but we can, and we have to do what we have to do to save lives. Now we have to, if there are persons who have a tendency to speed, there are cameras so many places. We still need more cameras, but we need to, put some penalty on their license and enforce the penalties. A lot of times we do things in Jamaica, we put some things and then we leave it there. We need to enforce these things. When you, as a family member, and I'm speaking from my heart now, when you have a family member and you go on the road and you look at your family member in pieces, in bits and pieces, that don't leave that don't leave a parent, that don't leave a sibling. And so we have to do better on the road. And I have two more observations that I've noticed, one on the highway and one that is not necessarily on the highway. All of us, and this is not, I noticed that when I said at first that I put this out for the police and the transport authority and the agencies that are responsible for road safety. The truth is, I'm putting it out to all citizens of Jamaica. You have a responsibility to your fellow men to do the right thing. Too many people are dying, and then you go up scot-free. And you know what I notice all the time? It's usually the offenders who are left alive, and I think that is grossly unfair. And so, even though I don't want to sound angry, but it's upsetting to see so many people are dying, and we need to do something about it.